To the girl who cried monster, it's me, the ghost next door. I think I'm in deep trouble. You're the one I'm dying for. Every night in Terror Tower, I meet you in a dream.
If you know me, you know I like House of Shivers. And if you also know me, I've been very, very iffy on the newer series that started printing in 2008 to current day. Yes, there are a few standout exceptions, but I feel like most of the time the books don't stand up to my previous standards. Seeing how I didn't like Slappy Birthday to You or Night of the Living, or Revenge of the Living Dummy, which are both Slappy books, and I was iffy on Wanted the Haunted Mask, I really wasn't expecting the first book to be that good. But lo and behold, I thought it was one of the best Goosebumps books since Hall of Horrors and Most Wanted. So, I was anxiously anticipating Goblin Monday. Goblin Monday is a book that starts out great. Starts out one of the best Goosebumps books. Hell, yeah, I said it. One of the best Goosebumps books it starts out as. I was really, really enjoying my time with this. I really liked the grandpa character. I really liked the grandma character. I actually really liked the friends, and there were no annoying pranksters or crap like that. I liked every character in this book, which is very rare for a Goosebumps book. Even some of my most favorite books, like Camp Jelly Jam, or Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns, they have some characters that make me want to pull my hair out. But in this book, I liked all the characters. In fact, I'd say I loved them. And putting on top of that, I felt the atmosphere in this book was awesome. A giant mansion in a snowy hillside. Oh my god, how cool is that? I was genuinely enjoying my time with Goblin. Now, I like spoiler-free reviews just to get a little heads up on what's going to happen in the book. I don't really know why, it's just a habit. So I watched Michael Goosebumps fans video, and you know what he said? He said, the book is great. The book is amazing until you get to the very end. And I said, oh, okay, well that's kind of a shame. I guess I'll read it, and I loved it. And then I got to a part where they kind of out of the blue revealed a lore drop. And spoilers for Goblin Monday, skip to this time frame on screen if you want to get past the spoilers, or continue watching if you don't care, or you've already read the book. Alright, don't say I didn't warn you. I really, really, really like the grandpa being a giant troll monster and like eating the birds. That genuinely shocked me. When he ate the bird, I was like, holy guacamole. I was awe-dazzled because that is something that, it doesn't normally happen. It was like bloody and gruesome, and there was a section with a dead rabbit that I thought was killer. It was like, ooh, yeah. It's awesome and genuinely kind of scary. And I didn't really care for all the goblin, gremlin, elf misbehavior. I thought that stuff was kind of lame. Like there was a goblin sleeping in my car. It's like, okay, whatever, Mr. Gerald the Geriatric. But I really liked this book. And then I got to the last 4 chapters. I was reading this book and I was like, oh, I don't get the hate because I'm almost at the end of the book. I really like it. And then the last 4 chapters happen. Once again, spoiler alert, but even worse, it's about the very end of the book. Okay. So at the end of the book, our main character, I can never remember the main character, Mario. Oh yeah. Mario finally catches a troll after he obsessed assesses the entire time he spent at this house trying to find it. And so, he finally finds a troll and locks it in a closet. And then Grandpa and Grandma and they're all like, oh no. And so a bajillion goblins raid the house. They raid it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. I wonder, it's an action set piece, which I wasn't really expecting from this book. It was more atmospheric. But whatever. That's okay. It can still be great. And then I read it. I'm dead serious when I say this. The ending was so bad. And I don't cuss on this channel, except for that one time. But this ain't it, dog. This ain't it. So we flip back to this. Basically, goblins invade, and it's like Mario gets a leaf blower that was set up at the beginning of the book, puts nutmeg in it, and sprays it all over the goblins, because that defeats the goblins, right? They're like, oh no, you defeated us. And remember when I was talking about the grandpa eating birds? It turns out that he is a gremlin too, and by extension, all of the family members that Mario is hanging out with at this house are all goblins. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And so he's like, yo, gremlin parents, drive me back home. Oh my god. This is another stupid part. Now, I want to read this section to you, just so at the same time we can experience how stupid it is. I pulled a business card from my pocket and handed it to him. He raised it between him and his wife and read it. Mario Galagos, Agent, United Goblin Hunters. Yeah, Mario is a freaking member of the FBI trying to hunt down goblins. What? And then he's stupid enough to not kill all the goblins and call someone on the phone. You know what he does? He's like, oh, Miss Goblin and Mr. Goblin, can I get a new car? And then she's all like, oh yes, get in our car, little boy who just killed a bunch of people. Or not people, but goblins, and they're goblins, so it's gobby action. And he gets in the car and he's like, oh, thank you so much. And then the kids who he became friends with along the way, they're like, Mario, do you realize that if our grandparents are goblins and we are goblins and our parents are goblins, and we're probably goblins too? And he's like, oh yeah, you know, I didn't actually think of that. And they're like, oh yeah, too bad. And they freaking eat him alive. And I actually liked that part. I thought that was kind of gnarly. I think they just did that entire section just so that they could have the guy get eaten alive. In a children's novel. You know, I did on you, R.L. Stein. Write it better. So, in my tier list of the House of Shiver books, how would I place them? Thanks for watching. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Scariest Book Ever is way better. I did like a lot of Goblin Monday more, but it really just fumbled the bag with the ending. Like 100%. Scariest Book Ever, yep, pretty good. Ooh, yeah, covers. This cover, I think it's fine. The goblins, I do not care for the drawing of. I do wish they were drawn a little more like this, or even like how we can see the back. The mummy, I like how the mummy's drawn in this one, in the skull back. I forget his name. Man back. It's drawn there. I don't like the goblins particularly, although I do like the ones in the background and the snow and trees. And I think it's good, not as good as this. It's a good book, not as good as this. Yeah. So, in total, oh yeah, ranking. I'd give this like a 7 out of 10. That ending, like, really was bad. It's like egg monsters from Mars. That, and so let's go through the things. How funny was it? I thought it was kind of funny. TBH, FYI, I thought you were funny. Yeah, it was not bad, actually. Scary, I'd give this a, oh yeah, funny, 3 out of 5. Or 2 out of 5. scariness, 5 out of 5. Till the end. I really, really like all the dead. I forgot. The people who, I don't want spoilers to come here. I really like the part with the birds. I'll say that. I'll say that. I really like the part with the birds. And the ending, obviously, is awful. The part with the birds, great. Love the part with the birds. Gotta love the part with the birds. Yeah. Oh yeah, the cover I'd give like a 3 out of 10. Yep, 7 out of 10. Really fumbled the bag. But overall, it's fine. So far, this series is looking good. Once again, if we go back to the old series, the first 2 books in Slappy World were mediocre. These 2 books were pretty good, mostly carried by this one. This one wasn't great. I don't have Night of the Living Everything, but Claws is like really, really, really good. I love it. And then these are also fine. I did not care for Revenge, the Living Dummy. Obviously, Creep from the Deep is pretty good. Alright, well, Duckhills signing off.
No, Duckhills, you're not signing off. Did you forget the new segment you were going to do? That's right, a new segment.
As a lot of you probably know, Goosebumps books are short. This one was 140 pages. But they have like so many chapters in it. This one had 30 something. So I'm going to see, on average, what the average amount of pages in a chapter this is. And what was the longest chapter and what was the shortest chapter.
Okay, guys, I just got the results in, and it may surprise you, because it certainly surprised me. Like, what does this happen with every Goosebumps book? I don't get it. So, the highest pages in a chapter is tied. It's tied between chapters 1, 2, 5, 10, 12, 14, 26, and that's it. And they're all tied with a count of 6 pages. And the lowest amount is tied between chapter 22, chapter 25, chapter 27, chapter 31, and chapter 33, which all have only 2 pages. And the average amount of pages per chapter is 4.17. So, there you have it. What does this tell us? It tells us that there are about 4 pages per chapter. And that Goosebumps has bad pacing for Subway Surfers babies.